Should you sell your home off market or on the MLS within the Philadelphia suburbs? That's what we're going to be talking about today. If you're thinking about selling your home in the Philadelphia suburbs, one of the most important decisions you'll make happens before your home even hits the market. And that decision is this: should you sell your home off market first or on the private market? Or should you go straight to the MLS on sites like Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, etc.? Because here's the reality. Once your home goes live on the MLS, a clock starts ticking. And every day your home sits on the market, it can slowly erode buyer confidence and ultimately reduce your sales price. In this video, we're going to break down what it actually means to sell off market or privately, how the MLS selling process works, why days on market matters, and why many sellers end up trapped in price reduction cycles. We'll also talk about why many sellers in the Philadelphia suburbs are starting to list on the private market first at their aspirational price, then going to the public market. If you're thinking about selling and want help figuring out the best strategy for your property, this video is exactly what you're looking for. So let's get into it. What happens when you list your home on the MLS? Most homeowners think selling a home starts by putting it on Zillow, Realtor.com, and the MLS. And while the MLS is still the largest exposure platform for buyers, it also creates something sellers need to understand. It's a public timer. The moment your home hits the MLS, buyers can see exactly how long the home has been listed, how many days it has been on the market, whether there has been price reductions. And this number is very important, and it's called days on market. And buyers watch it very closely. If a home sells quickly, buyers assume the home was well priced, demand was strong. But if a home sits on the market too long, buyers start asking questions. They begin wondering, is something wrong with the property? Is the seller unrealistic? Oh no, I don't want to see that one. It's been on the market for 100 days. Will the price drop soon? It's probably going to come down more, and then I'll take a look at it. Even if nothing is wrong with the home, the perception alone will weaken demand significantly, as the demand period for your home is in the first 2 weeks. That is the period where is peak demand to sell your home for its highest possible price, where bidding wars will start, and that is the little time frame that you want to take advantage of the most. Now, why days on market hurts sellers? One of the biggest risks of going straight to the MLS is something called the price reduction cycle, and here's how it typically happens. A seller lists their home slightly above market value, hoping a buyer will stretch to meet that price, but buyers today are very informed. They compare homes constantly. If the home is overpriced, buyers simply wait. After about 30 days, the listing usually starts losing momentum significantly. Showings slow down, buyers assume a price cut is going to be coming, and eventually the seller reduces the price. But once that happens, something interesting occurs psychologically for buyers. Instead of seeing the home as a hot opportunity, buyers start viewing it as a weakened listing, and they will kind of lose the excitement behind the property, as the first 2 weeks, as we mentioned, is the most exciting period. When a new property hits the market, everyone wants to see it. In that first 2 weeks is where the magic really happens. But if someone has seen the listing for weeks, months, that, oh, I need to see this right now because it might sell right away, that the urgency is gone. And this is one of the biggest reasons sellers leave money on the table. Now, why the private market even exists? This is exactly why the private market strategy is being deployed by many sellers today. Instead of immediately listing publicly, the home can first be introduced off market. This means listing the property as a private exclusive. This allows the home to be shared with a network of agents and brokers who have qualified buyers, but here is the key advantage. There is no public days on market counter, so the home can receive interest, feedback without starting the public facing clock. Testing your aspirational price. One of the most powerful uses of the private market is testing an aspirational price with no consequences, or a make me move price. Many homeowners believe their home may be worth more than recent sales suggest. Sometimes they're right, but sometimes the market disagrees. If you list publicly at that aspirational price and buyers reject it, your listing immediately begins accumulating days on market, which can weaken your negotiating position. But when your home is marketed privately first, something different happens. You can test the market without pressure. Buyers and agents can provide real feedback, such as how the home compares to recent sales, whether the price feels strong or unrealistic, what buyers are actually willing to pay. During the private market, you might find out, yeah, maybe we should paint these walls. a more neutral color. Maybe we should power wash the exterior. Maybe we should do staging throughout the property. You know, these are things you will find out through a private launch that you wouldn't have known to do when you're selling your home on the public market, because we can take feedback from the private market, adjust our strategy, then go public, giving you the highest chance to sell for the most possible. And again, the seller has no obligation to sell here. If the right offer appears, great, which happens and has happened for my sellers before. And if not, we can adjust the pricing strategy before going public. And this is exactly what I did for a client recently. We listed privately at their aspirational price for 1.25 million and sold privately over 1.3 million in just under 3 days. I will actually have on screen here some of my recent sales where I either represented the buyers or sellers from Media, Westchester, Malvern, Villanova, Bryn Mawr, and Gladwin, where many of these homes first started on the private market, okay? Now, why this prevents price reduction cycles? This is where the private market strategy becomes incredibly powerful, because instead of guessing the right price and risking public price cuts, you're gathering real data first. Think of it as market research before the official launch. When the home eventually goes live on the MLS, it can be priced much more accurately, which increases the chances of stronger early interest, more showings, and potentially multiple offers. Instead of starting at too high and chasing the market down with price reductions, you start with a refined pricing strategy based on real feedback that protects the listing from losing momentum. Now, when the MLS becomes the best move, now to be clear, the MLS is still extremely powerful. In fact, for many homes in the Philadelphia suburbs, the MLS is ultimately the place where the strongest competition occurs. The MLS creates the largest buyer exposure, visibility on major real estate platforms, and the possibility of multiple offers. But the key difference is this: instead of starting the MLS launch blindly, the private market lets you enter the MLS strategically. You're launching with better pricing, data, and stronger positioning. Maybe you get a great private market demand and you want to raise price and launch on the MLS. It happens, but you can only find that out by using a private market strategy first. Now, the smart strategy many sellers use today, and what I deploy with many of my clients. For many sellers today, the smartest approach is actually a two-step strategy. Start on the private market, test your aspirational price, and gather feedback without any public pressure. Then launch on the MLS if needed. Once the pricing strategy is refined or home marketing strategy is refined, the home can go public with a much stronger launch. This approach helps sellers avoid one of the biggest risks in real estate, damaging a listing before it even has a chance to gain momentum. And it just gives you the highest % chance that you sell for the highest number your home would support. Now, to conclude, wrap up this video here, should you sell your Philadelphia suburbs home on the private market or on the MLS? Like we said, the truth is it's usually not one or the other. For many sellers, the best strategy is private market first, public market second, okay? Private, then public. This allows you to test your aspirational price, your dream price, your make me move price, gather real buyer feedback, avoid public days on market, and launch publicly with a stronger strategy. If you're thinking about selling and want help figuring out which strategy makes the most sense for your home, contact us or click the link below and let us know your situation. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow for more insights about the Philadelphia suburb real estate market. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Again, it's been Stefanatos with Compass. Take it easy, everybody. Peace.